What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Inside D3 show. I'm your host, Morgan Cheatham, back with a brand new intro for you guys. If you're one of our new viewers, then thank you for checking us out for the first time. If you're one of our day one viewers, then we appreciate you sticking around since the beginning. So before we get started today, make sure you check us out on our website, InsideD3.com. Follow us on our Instagram and Twitter at D3Inside. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Inside D3 Athletics, where you can find all of our episodes as well. If you happen to be on the go and can't watch our videos, you can listen to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and Anchor. Also, be sure to check out the Mascot of the Week with Sam and any news that might drop in the meantime as well. And we got some good stuff planned for you guys for the summer, so we're definitely looking forward to that as well. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys, so hopefully you enjoy the show. Today we have a very special guest. She's also a friend of mine as well. She goes by the name of Marissa Inglisa. She is a former soccer player, now Stevenson University alum, was also the president of Stevenson SAC as well. But welcome, Marissa. What's up?
Hey, Morgan. Thanks for having me.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm excited for this one. This is a very special one. We've never had a friend on here before, so we're gonna see how this goes.
Well, I feel very honored.
All right, so just give everybody a quick background, for people that may not know who you are. Give us a little backstory of just who you are as a person, what things you've been involved in, everything like that.
Sure. So I started out my college journey at Lynchburg College in the fall of my freshman year, which is actually now University of Lynchburg. And I started actually as an exercise physiology major, but then mid-semester I kind of grew an interest of nursing, so I switched my major midway through. And I had a great soccer experience down there, but unfortunately not all of it was enough. So when I was looking at Maryland schools, I was looking actually at Stevenson, of course, was one of the schools I was looking at. But I mean, of course, there was other schools like Salisbury and Maryland, just any way I can quickly transition back into Maryland for the remainder of my freshman year. But it was actually Coach Graham Miller, who helped seal the deal for me to come to Stevenson. And so, yeah, today I'm a recent graduate of Stevenson University, proud alumni, member of the women's soccer team, and former president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee, ready to take on my next journey at the University of Maryland Medical Center as a new graduate nurse.
I love it. So I want to know real quick, what was the reason that you wanted to choose nursing in particular? Where did that transition come from?
Well, my whole life I wanted to find a way to help people or anyone. It always interests me to be a part of that service. It's just for helping anyone any way I can. And so initially I was thinking about exercise physiology because I was an athlete and I love athletics. So I was trying to find the best of both worlds of that. So I thought maybe becoming a physical therapist would be that. But I kind of grew to wanting to get out there sooner once I realized how long the schooling would take with PT. And, nursing was one of the other big majors at Lynchburg. And so I was taking a course that was a requirement for the nursing major, but wasn't necessarily an official nursing major yet. And my family also has a huge background with nursing. Like my aunt on my dad's side is a nurse manager down in DC. My mom's side, her sister is a retired nurse. And then my grandmother was also a nurse. So I kind of just figured it would be an easy transition for me out in the real world to be a nurse. So that's kind of how I got into it. And I love it.
I'm glad. Yeah, Stevenson's really good in nursing anyway, really, prestigious, especially in the Maryland area. So pretty much sounds like a no-brainer for you to really just do it.
Yeah. And I'm happy with where I ended up.
Sure. So I want to know, obviously you just graduated a couple months ago. So what's that transition been like from being, a student athlete to, being a NARP, and then now you're a grad. So what's life been like?
Well, I gotta say, the undergrad experience was definitely the perfect transition for me. It was very rocky, but an eye-opening transition. It gave me every kind of lesson that you could to help you prepare for the real world. But it also gave you those fun times that you're supposed to have in college and still get to be a kid. But yeah, it was crazy how athletics and even just doing school itself can prepare you so well for the real world. And I'm so ready for everything and ready to take on this responsibility of myself and caring for others at my own hand. And it's just, yeah, I wouldn't have transitioned any other way. Like, it was perfect. And I mean, going through a pandemic itself is like a whole nother little hurdle. But yeah, it was great transition. Athletics prepared me in the ways of, I just can't even imagine how you would go around that. So, but
So
yeah.
let's talk about the student athlete experience that you had. Obviously you were, involved in SAC and things like that. So what are some of the things that you've learned, both on and off the field from being at Stevenson?
Well, for sure, one of the biggest lessons I think I learned from being a student athlete is the whole time management. We all know from being a student athlete that it's hard to transition those going away games, late night, maybe early morning practices, class time, exams, projects, papers. You have to find a good balance and schedule to help maintain that structure and that responsibility. And so gaining that skill of time management has definitely prepared me for this whole new real world adult perspective. And yeah, just also committing yourself to being responsible, keeping your head down, making the right decisions when it comes to, should I go to this get together, or should I go out and get food, or should I stay in and study? Like, creating that responsibility was also another huge lesson I learned. And for the nursing world itself, working in a team environment on the field also prepared me, I think, very well for the nursing world, because you are always working in a team environment in the medical profession to help care for everyone.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah,
crazy how
I was gonna say, those are the biggest takeaways from being a student athlete for me.
yeah, I agree. Like I feel like you have to have your hand in so many different things, being a student athlete, being an involved student athlete especially. And
Right.
it's like you almost feel like you have to excel in every single one of those. And it takes a lot of discipline, as I'm sure you know, to really just make sure that everything is, where it's supposed to be, and that, you're on your P's and Q's all the time.
Right.
Yeah. So let's really transition into, just some of the recent happenings, obviously with,
Mhm.
racial injustice and things like that going on, and seeing, violence going on with
Yeah.
black males and females and men and women out here. So I want
Yeah.
to know, from your perspective, how did that hit you first off? And then, my second question would be, what are some of the things that you feel like you can do, being on the outside looking in of all this?
Right. So I actually personally am not very good with keeping up with current events. With, like, I don't sit down at 5 o'clock every day to watch the news on TV. It's not in my, um, I don't know, jurisdiction. I'm not about looking at that. So I usually take my time in the morning and check. It's sad to say, I check my Twitter headlines, or like,
Hey, it happens. It's really regular nowadays.
just to keep up with like
Yeah,
current events in a
yeah.
brief, like, quick way.
Hmm.
And so yeah, when the whole video surfaced of George Floyd's death, I watched the video, and if if anything, my first initial reaction is, how could one person let a man suffer and die like that for a whole 9 minutes, when this man had other people surrounding telling them to get off him? And like, it broke my heart to watch him suffer, because no one ever should suffer from something like that, especially if he was innocent. I mean, yeah, he was caught for a criminal activity, but he wasn't dangerous. So that was my initial reaction. And the way that the whole system was being um, processed, I just, you know, my first thought is, what can I do as being myself, a white woman? What can I do in this situation to help or just make a difference? And so when the petitions started surfacing, I that I noticed on like social media, I was like, heck yeah, why sign these things? Because I witnessed this myself, and I want to do anything I can, because in this country, it's just everything was created to be so that we all can have an equal life, an equal part. And so, yeah, the petitions was my biggest thing that I was looking for. And me being a white woman as well, I have that little knowledge of everything that history wise that may have occurred and whatnot. And so I would do my own research through documentaries, um, websites, just to help give me a better perspective being on the outside. And then I would say also, lastly, what I would do is also just tell my friends that are suffering through this and are just scared, sad, upset with everything. I always just tell them, look, I don't know, I don't have the direct knowledge, but I'm here for you. I'm listening and I'm trying to understand better, and I'm here for you. So,
I
and
think my yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, I've been in that stage where I was actually the person on the outside, especially when I came to Stevenson, because it's such a diverse campus, and I was on our track and field team my freshman year, and I had never been in that kind of experience where I was the only white person, or felt like, if anything, on our part of the team, that I was on the outside of a bigger population of African Americans. But if anything, within like the first few weeks of joining the team, I felt like I was a part of this awesome family, because everybody was so welcoming to me. And I just feel like we should all be like that, is open each other with arms and open hearts and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's one of those things where I think, sports is, luckily one of those places where it feels like we feel some sense of equality,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't always translate over to, other areas, but
Yeah.
I definitely think that you being on our track team and, us being a predominantly black track team is
Right.
one of those things that probably gave you a good understanding of some of the things that we're, the people we are, and the things that we like,
Yeah.
things that we stand for. So I
Yeah.
think it's just definitely a good thing that you're in that position, that you're willing to, listen and understand. And I think that's one of the biggest parts of it, and
Hmm.
hopefully that carries over to, other people around you and people that look like you as well. But we definitely appreciate it on this side.
Heck yeah.
So, my second to last question for you. Let's just take a look back at, your college career, both
Uh-huh.
on and off the field. I want to know, what are some of your favorite memories from both sides of it?
Wow, I gotta say, it's probably a ginormous list, and I could probably go on and on the whole day telling you about some of my favorite memories. But I mean, some of the most distinct ones from soccer, I would say, was beating Johns Hopkins my sophomore year in overtime. It was like it was the first time that Stevenson women's soccer had ever beaten Johns Hopkins,
Was that the
and
game winner? Yep.
yeah, it was. But honestly, it's one of my favorite memories, not because that I got the game winner, but just because we were able to make a name for ourselves in our program, that we were able to beat this dominant, prestigious program, and who were at the time ranked 8th in the nation. And we were just this small little MAC conference school that absolutely outplayed this awesome program. So yeah, it was really a really cool memory, and it was my coach's first year actually joining our program and being our head coach. So it was kind of cool to get that win for her too. And then like another distinct soccer memory was probably also beating Widener this year for my senior season, because after we'd won that game, we solidified our spot in the playoffs for the MAC conference, and we hadn't been back to the playoffs since I think my freshman year when I wasn't on the team. So it was really cool to get that win once again for our team, just to set us back on a good track for hopefully future generations, and for my coach, and for us ourselves, since we hadn't it's been so long since we've been to the playoffs. So that was a pretty cool memory as well. And I mean, all the soccer formals are always my favorite times of the year when we all get to just finally relax and get to have the fun that a college student should have. And I gotta say, some distinct off the field memories I had from school was, I gotta say, my 21st celebration was pretty cool because some of my friends threw me and my one other friend who almost share the same birthdays. We're 2 days apart, but we both turned 21. And so they threw us a little surprise party with all of our friends. And then we went to a Christmas sweater party after, and it was awesome. Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
What was the sweater? We got to know.
I think there was a penguin on it.
A penguin? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was a penguin with like a little bell on it. It's my favorite one, honestly, because yeah, I love penguins, and two, it's so big and comfy. Hence how all sweaters should be.
I agree. That's a staple. As long as it's big, comfy, cozy, all that, I need it. I need it every time.
Senior homecoming was also really fun this year because it was the first time where we could actually, go to homecoming as college students and not have to worry about our game later in the day because our soccer game was the day before, and so our coach gave us off that Saturday and Sunday as well. So we got some time to be normal college students for a day. So that was really fun. And then I would say lastly, and it's actually kind of sad, but after our season ended, some of my friends and I, we kind of went on a mini like bender week where we stayed in the same house for like 3 or 4 days and just drank, sat, and just, I don't know, talked, hung out. It was just so much fun. Like just us getting to have that little time together and celebrate an amazing career that we all had together. And I just definitely think it made us closer as a class and just friends that I can still call some pretty cool friends that I have today. So yeah, it was a pretty sweet time in college. Definitely, I gotta say my senior year was probably my favorite, but made a lot of great memories. And like I said, that list can go on. There's definitely a ton more I could tell you, but
I'm sure I'm involved in a bunch of those, So
heck yeah. Like when we got to put makeup on each other at the MAC conference.
That was interesting. I don't want to relive that though. I definitely don't.
I still got the pictures and videos from that.
All right, so my last question for you, being a D3 student athlete, or former, I should say now, coming from Lynchburg and Stevenson, both D3 institutions, what was the reason that you chose D3 in particular?
So I chose D3 because I wanted to have that equal balance of pursuing a bachelor's degree strong enough that I will have a great career when I come out of college, because I know I wasn't going to play sports forever. I know that I wouldn't be able to continue on with that, just health reasons and whatnot. And I also wanted to still be able to continue the sport that I love competitively. I just couldn't see myself playing in a club or intramural sport at a big like D1 school while pursuing my degree. So yeah, I wanted to still have that balance. And when it came to picking a school, I knew that with like nursing, when I eventually switched to that, it would be a challenge to juggle the sport and also keeping up the high expectations for the nursing program. But the cool thing about D3 schools is, especially at Stevenson and even at Lynchburg itself, they focus on making sure that mental health wise that we're all getting the necessary support and resources to give us the ability to do both. So I mean, it's been honestly quite an honor to say that I graduated as a Division III student athlete with a successful career, and also getting to have an awesome career after school with nursing. So it was a good quality education, and at the same time it was a great experience being a student athlete.
No doubt. Well, Marissa, that's all I have for you today. We appreciate you coming on, especially on such short notice, but I think it was a good one, and I appreciate you coming on. Good luck with the real world. It's fun, but it's not at the same time. So I'm sure you'll figure that out soon. But yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Morgan. It was good to see you.
So that does it for another episode of the Inside D3 Show. Thank you guys again for checking in. Stay tuned for more episodes. We drop them every Wednesday on all of our platforms. Also, stay connected on all of our platforms for any stories that might drop during the week as well. And also stay locked in for the Mascot of the Week with Sam V. Rock right after this, and you do not want to miss that. So, once again, I'm Morgan Cheatham. This is the Inside D3 Show, and we are signing off.